Okay, we are live. Hello, hello. Thank you for coming to the Self-Care Queen. Today, I have a very, very special guest, is Erica Reid. Erica is an occupational therapist who works with people and pets for posture, pain, pregnancy issues, and PTS. She specializes in a hands-on modality called myofascial release, which I have done this with her many times. Erica is an entrepreneur, wellness coach, and a forever student of holistic healing modalities, and is the founder of a nonprofit providing free services of this nature to survivors of sexual exploitation, abuse, and trafficking. She has a particular interest in plant medicine and is an independent distributor with a global revolutionary hemp company. Her passion is helping women get magical with their mindset, movement, and medicine. All right, here is Erica. She's also a very good friend of mine. Hello, Erica. So how long have we known each other?
It's been 15 years, right?
Yeah.
What year is it now? We don't want to talk about such things. It's at least been maybe since 2007, so maybe 12 years or so. Yeah.
Okay. All right. 2007, 13 years. That's when me and Tom met, 2007. I feel like it's before that then.
I think it was before that. So yeah. I've known you longer than Tom has.
Yes, you have. All right. So we're going to get started. So why don't you tell us a little bit about what you do with your movement, medicine, and mindset?
Okay. So my license, what I practice under is an occupational therapist. And a lot of times people are like, so you find people jobs? And I'm like, no, it's a little bit of a misnomer. I was a vet tech. I was really into animals, got into vet school. I was really into psychology, so got a scholarship for that. And then I was moseying around the career room in college one time, one day, and all of a sudden I come across this occupational therapy. And, the closest thing to relate it to is physical therapy. But I was drawn to the fact that occupational therapy really looked at the more holistic, whole body approach to daily living skills. So daily living skills, everything from what you do for your job, homemaking, getting dressed, caretaking, and taking care of yourself. So I help people who may have some limitation in taking care of themselves and others in these areas. And so we take a whole body approach, and we look at the emotional, even the spiritual and the physical abilities of people and how we can help get them to be more centered and to heal themselves and take care of themselves in all these areas. So for me in particular, you mentioned the myofascial, and so I have to do continuing ed every year. So I went to this class up in Pasadena, and we start doing this hands-on body work called myofascial release. And it's a John Barnes myofascial release in particular. And I just remember there was a lot going on in that room. And there was a lot of healing going on in ways that I hadn't seen before. And I remember thinking, okay, I'm in Hollywood now because I'm from the East Coast. And I was like, where's the camera here? So that's kind of how I got my start into it. But I really found that when I use this approach with my clients, I found that they were able to find ways to really take care of themselves and heal themselves. And so my practice has mostly been the myofascial. I've taken other hands-on body approaches as well and incorporate them from visceral work to craniosacral and things like that. So I just take a very hands-on body approach. And I love it too, because it really touches into the emotional and the deep hidden trauma that we often have, that we like to shove down in our body, right? And we think we're okay. And when in the long run, your body starts kind of screaming at you and saying, hey, there's like a certain area here that you're not paying attention to.
Yeah.
You got some stuff.
Yeah.
Stored some stuff here. And, I always tell my clients, like, when it starts talking, you should really listen, because it's going to start screaming if you don't. So.
Well, and I know.
Yes,
go ahead. Sorry, go ahead. I was going to say, and I know this worked very well. So Eric and I actually know each other from a chiropractic office that we worked together at years ago. And I was a massage therapist. She was an OT, and she was often working on me. And you were saying, Erica, you were like, I want to get an emotional release out of you. Octavia was like, I'm open. Let's do it. But she could never quite got one until one day I told you about that reoccurring dream that I was having. So I was having this reoccurring dream of a man chasing me, and he would catch me and corner me, and he would put his hand in my sternum, like in my diaphragm, and I would suddenly I couldn't talk, I couldn't move, I would just lose all sense, and then I would wake up scared, and it was a reoccurring dream. So you said, Erica, you're like, we're gonna recreate this dream. So I remember you sat me on the table, kind of sitting up, and you put your hand there in that spot, and I just started bawling. I mean, I have never in my life cried or had an emotional release like that day. And I didn't even know how I was going to get home because I think I cried for like 45 minutes. And then I was like, somehow I've got to get in my car and get home and get to bed because this is all I can do for the rest of the day. But I never had that dream again after that.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's pretty, I mean, the body is amazing. And we just, tend to sometimes forget that it needs a little extra loving care. And, especially in these days right now, this is the time to do it since we were talking, I feel busier than ever, even though I'm not even going to the office as much, but it's still a time to say, okay, well, let's, how can we be busy doing stuff to take care of us? So that's why I'm so glad that you invited me on this, because I'm like, yes, everybody really needs to take care of themselves. And it's just such an easy thing to forget to do, or not to know how to do.
Or not to know how to do, and especially right now, there's a lot of people who are, quarantined with family, and there's a lot of people who are quarantined alone. And I've heard some stories on Facebook lately of people, attempting suicide at this point, and, doing some self-care and taking care of yourself every day. It's sort of COVID's ugly sister right now, I think, is that kind of thing happening.
I think the numbers have gone up 600% for suicide.
Whoa, I did not know that. Whoa. Yeah. So what is your self-care routine? What do you do to take care of yourself?
Well, it's funny because I've always called myself and kind of laughed and said, oh, like the shoemaker's daughter, therapists tend to do that. We don't take care of ourselves. And I actually had surgery on 2/20 right before all this happened. And I remember I took 3 weeks off, and I had just started back to work for 3 days, and then this happened. And I was like, oh, okay. So got a little extra time now. And it just hit me. It's like, okay, Erica, talk the talk, walk the walk, right? It's not just talk the talk, walk the walk. And why do your clients always say, oh, I didn't get to it, I was busy? And you're like, yeah, I get that, huh? And then, we attract what we do and what we're like. And, my mentor, John Barnes, always says something that I think is super profound, that you can only take your clients as far as you're willing to go yourself, right? And I'm always like, well, I'm willing to go as far in my healing as I need to, but I wasn't doing the work. So I really have taken this time to not only post-surgery, but to really make myself a better therapist and a better person by really taking care of myself. So what do I do? I say the three things are the mindset and the movement and the medicine. And for me, medicine means, what am I taking inside my body? What nutrients am I getting? And, I live a pretty healthy lifestyle, but I'm also not super strict on anything, because I believe that, we should enjoy ourselves too, because there's a big part of that. Matter of fact, I think the number is over 50% of what we take in. It's just as important, if not more important, how we react and how we feel when we're eating than what we're eating. So, I try to consciously watch what I eat, but I'm also learning to slow down, enjoy the food, appreciate the food, and not just be, driving client and shoving food in my mouth in the car, because they say that how you are around that makes a big difference. And I guess that goes back to why families used to sit around the table together and talk and pray over their food first, because they created this environment that you know, the nutrition that you're bringing in is going to be affected about how your body is when you bring it in. So that's where my medicine plays. That, and I am big on, you know, I'm a distributor, a global distributor with the Hemp Company. So that's a huge part of my medicine, even though it's not a medicine, it's a supplement, but it's also something we create in our body. And in this world with the toxins and everything, we're not. So I bring that into my body as my nourishment. And then movement is, you know, just incorporating my myofascial, or just dancing or some type of movement. It doesn't have to be hardcore exercise. And God bless those who do and have this, you know, crazy routine and they stick to it. I honor that, but it's just not been my thing. But
you like to hike. You like to hike though, right? You do.
I love to hike. I love to hike. And I've been doing a lot of that good because I also just really believe you have to be out in nature. It have proven it actually changes your gut biome, which is super important for your health, by being out in nature. And so if we can't get the nutrition in our food because it's so full of, you know, GMOs and Roundup and everything, then, you know, let's let nature take care of our body and we get to enjoy a hike too. So yeah, for me, it's just any type of movement. Sometimes I'll just be silly and dance in my house. And then sometimes it's, you know, the hike, but it's always some type of movement. And then using, you know, my infamous ball that I give everyone to place in parts of the body and lay over it and sink to open the fascial system. And so that's that. And then for mindset, you know, I am not a great meditator or anything. I have gotten better and I'm really proud of myself because 4 days ago, after about 4 years of trying, I have started a very small writing practice. Okay. I've just been told for years and years, you need to write. That's how you get things out. You know, even just 3 to 5 minutes. Yep. And it just clears your brain. So I was like, okay, I'm going to do 3 minutes. That's not going to do anything, but I'm going to do 3 minutes. And it went by so quick that I kept going. And I was like,
did you do it like right when you wake up in the morning? You like just.
Yep. Just whatever came to mind. And then a couple months, it's been a little later after I got my little morning drink and did a few things and took care of the animals and talked to the plants and all that. And then I just started writing even then. And I was just amazed. I just wrote whatever came. And then today I actually did a topic and then I just wrote about whatever came to that. Came to mind to that. But the biggest part for the mindset for me is taking that time to slow down so that we can actually hear our body and hear what it needs. But the grateful practice is huge. And I know people hear about this a lot and it's probably become kind of a cliche thing, but they have done research just proving when you are grateful and when you apply that to life, things change, right? And it's putting it out in research and it brings back to you. But I don't even need the research. I just know from my own practice and doing it when I've been in situations that were needed. I think I lost you. I might be talking to myself.
My daughter walked in. I'm so sorry. My daughter walked in and she's going to come over here. So
I'm grateful that you're back.
Yeah. I was like, I got to get backstage.
I would have loved to see
Erica. It's Erica. But you can't come on here, baby. I know her dad doesn't like her on
camera. Yes, I can totally understand that.
Yeah.
The grateful practice, just I was saying that I don't even need the research. Is this happening to me, right? And it was really hard. And so I just gritted my teeth and said, I am so thankful for this and, you know, the lessons that are coming with until I was actually like, I'm actually really grateful for this because I learned this and this, and I learned how to grow in this area. So that kind of covers the mindset part for me because it's just a super powerful tool.
It's a super powerful tool. Like, you know, I remember at the beginning of COVID, all I wanted was French fries and my nanny, and a week later, somehow I got them back. It seemed so far away. Somehow I got my French fries and my nanny. I know. But, you know, like it's like what you bring out. Like yesterday, you know, I meditate 3 days a week with Susie Q, actually. And I do my own meditations. I do those with her, but then I have my own, like I do every day. And, you know, even with with that, my mindset, I get stuck on things, and it's a flick like that. It's like the only person who can make you happy is you, and you just have to like turn it around. And some days it's hard. It's not always easy, but it's all in the mind. Yeah. So for me, mine is, obviously mindset and movement, but then my other one is self-care, as far as like skincare, beauty, and like being very presentable. That's a huge part of my self-care, is just, I feel like when I look good on the outside, it makes me feel good on the inside. When I look in the mirror and I'm happy with what I see, that makes me feel great. And I know recently you did a facial with me. How are you liking your Mary Kay products?
That was so fun.
Shameless plug here.
That was so much fun. And I mean, I was doing Zoom before all of this craziness, but I just think it's such a fun way to, people are busy, right? So if we had tried to plan that in person, I mean, come on, it probably wouldn't have happened between the two of us, or, I'll put that all on me. But the fact that we could sit down Zoom, a little glass of wine on the side, and we were able to do a facial just like that together. That was so much fun. That's just so cool. So yeah, thank you for that. And all the free goodies you sent me.
You're welcome. Yeah. And it's nice because, a lot of people, like I had a girl today who called me, and she wants to do headshots with me. She needs to get some new makeup. She's like, Octavia, I don't know how I'm going to buy foundation online. I'm like, I got some samples for you, girl. She's like, really? I'm like, yeah, I can drop them off. I'm on my way to go drop something else off. And so that's something like a service that you can't get right now, is like, try before you buy, get samples, that kind of thing, and get that personalized service. Because a lot of the stores when they're closed too, they're not doing samples. And so it's just a nice thing to have. So, and then, do you want to talk about?
I'm just going to tell you, because you look so gorgeous, and you are doing that a little bit of pixelating right now, and I would much prefer to see your beautiful face. So I was just going to there's something out here and you can do to fix that.
Okay, let me fix that. Well, why don't you talk about your hemp company real quick, and I'll be right back.
Okay, I am I work with a global hemp company, and I got started in this. I was just telling somebody the funny story about it, because it's a wonderful company, and it's a wonderful opportunity because it's set up as so you can do entrepreneurship, basically, right? You can have your own company, and you pay. It's set up just like Mary Kay, affiliate marketing, which I hesitated to even jump into that, just because, I grew up with that, and I was just like, I don't want to convince anybody for anything. But as you know, it's the best thing ever. I mean, we can continue doing this. We started doing and shebang right away, during COVID, and mine is continuing during COVID. So it is such a great opportunity, because we can connect with people like this. We can connect to people on this, and it's just the best opportunity. But for me, I am, I want to stay so aligned with the health and healing. And then this opportunity fell in my hands. And the thing about hemp is, and I never learned this in medical school, and most people that I know that went through health training didn't know about this, but we have a natural endocannabinoid system. I always say that wrong, in our body. So just like we have a nervous system and a hormonal system and an immune system, and the ECS actually regulates all the others. And so I work a lot with the nervous system, and then I'm very, into health and healing. So I'm talking about the immune system, but we've always learned too that your hormones regulate everything, right? So then I found out we have this natural system in our body that actually regulates all those. So I use hemp as a part of my daily practice before I do my writing, before I do a meditation. We have one that has the CBD, which people are really starting to get, most people are familiar with CBD at this point, anti-inflammatory, very health. It's an adaptogen. It helps regulate and balance your body, right? We have CBD in our products as well, which people are starting to learn about, which the research has shown really helps with the brain and gut health. And we have a product that is particularly tuned towards helping with calm. So being the acronym of can't sleep, anxiety, low libido, and miserable.
I love it. Yeah, the calm is awesome.
It's a wonderful product to help people who have trouble sleeping. Sleep is everything, right? I can tell you, speaking of self-care, if I don't sleep, you're going to see it and you're going to know it right away. First of all, because you just don't want to be around me. I think you know.
I've seen you on a few crispy days.
But I mean, I'm going to be 50 in a few months, and people. Thanks. But people always say, once you turn 40, well, it didn't happen until I was 48. So last year is when everything started accentuating. Like if I don't get sleep or I have that glass of wine,
Okay.
Sleep is just so important as part of our self-care for our skin, for how we look, and then, to make friends. So, yes. Or keep friends. So, so these just some wonderful products. I fell off my horse back in November and I landed right on my elbow and it was searing pain. And I was just like, oh my gosh, I use my arms to work on people, what I'm going to do. And we have a body therapy that you rub on, and it has 1,000 milligrams of CBD. And I was able to apply that, and my elbow works. So I really enjoy using these products and having my clients use them too, because if my clients can take this and get out of fight or flight and get into their rest and digest, then their body can heal, but also for the self-care too. If when somebody's frazzled and they're walking around in fight or flight, right? You can see it. Yes. Their body can't heal. Their skin is going to look a mess. Just your body's too busy, thinking you're running from a tiger to take care of you. So if you're able, we're all in
that mode. I think with this COVID, we're on that mode at this moment. So
yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah, that tiger is out there. So it's not a tiger. It's out there. But so I as you can tell, I love the products because they allow us to take care of ourselves.
They help. And they helped my kitty cat. They helped my poor little Finnegan. In his last days, he would not eat, he would not drink, he wouldn't do anything, but he let me give him the hemp oil. He was like, yeah, I'll take some of that, Mom. So it really helped him in his last, he was 22 years old, and it just really helped in his last 3-week decline, that it was like a really fast decline for him. So thank you for that.
You are such a good mom too, because, you knew that the time was coming soon, but yet you were still like, what can I do for you? Oh my God, I'm going to cry. I'm like such an animal, that's just
baby. I had to do something. I couldn't just sit. I had to do something. Speaking of motherhood and sleep, I haven't slept for like 3 years. So
well, you're hiding it well. So I'm going to use my products that you sent me and that I bought, because you look amazing. You look amazing.
Thank you.
I use my, I have the, it's 2-in-1, and it's the brush to really clean. By the way, I love my facial cleaner that I got from you. And it's the one, I got the one that's I think I got the one with all the natural stuff in it. Yeah.
Yeah, you got the 100% the naturally.
Yeah. Yep. And then, so I took the brush handle off today, and I put on the massage handle. Because I've had a couple Zooms today. I was like, ooh, I got to get prepared for my Zoom. But that's
nice about that massage.
What's that?
Oh, sorry. I was going to say, what's nice about that massage head is we have 42 different muscles in our face. And when you are massaging them, those muscles help you smile. They also help you wrinkle and crease. So when you're relaxing those muscles, you're just relaxing all the wrinkles in your face, which is really awesome. Plus, it feels amazing.
It feels amazing. I was smiling the whole time I used it this morning. I just thought it was so cool, and I just loved getting, I got my envelope in the mail and all my goodies in there, and because, first of all, in COVID, a lot of people don't want to go out, right? Well, I didn't want to go out shopping before COVID because I'm just not a shopper, and sometimes it's just not enough time. I just don't like to. So when you sent me all these samples and I had it right there, I didn't have to go out to the store or, my dog's really wanting to play. He just handed me his tennis ball right now. So, I thought it was so amazing. Yeah. I had my own shopping experience in my house, and then I could call you and, hey, what's up with this one? How about this? And, get recommendations from you and everything. That's really super cool.
I'm glad you enjoyed it. It's nice too to get a pretty pink polka dot package in the mail,
Yes.
ugly mail that comes. It's like,
That's
oh,
right.
look
I
at
get the
that.
box
Yes,
and I'm like, who can I send something to in this box? Because it's just so cool.
my friend who bought some stuff, her husband was like, what's in this box? Is it lingerie? And she's like, it's Mary Kay. He's like, is that lingerie? She's like, no. I know, right? So anyways, well, I'm glad you enjoyed it. And then I was going to talk, before we go, I wanted to talk too about, tell us more about your new foundation, because that sounds really amazing and like some really good work that you're doing right now.
Thank you. So this has actually been a 501c3 for a couple years now. So it wasn't something just with everything going on right now. Trafficking is really getting highlighted a little bit more, but this is something probably 4 or 5 years ago. I was working with friends who have a nonprofit to help bring awareness to domestic abuse. Mm-hmm. And they have an incredibly intense story, and they turned it into something really beautiful to help women, right? And I this really just, I felt this in my heart, and I started out originally working with domestic abuse too, and I named the nonprofit after my mom. And she did have abuse at the hands of her father, and there were some things like that. But the main thing is that I watched this beautiful woman inside and out who just spent her latter years really suffering in life. Emotional, because she didn't have those tools that are out there for us, right? And the tools that we're talking about today, and even just, skincare, that's important. Feeling good about yourself when you've had people cut you down. And so I named it after my mom, A New Dawn. And it's kind of, I started having a calling towards sexual abuse, exploitation, and specifically trafficking. So we were supposed to start fundraising in March, and we know what happened in March. And it's interesting now because so much is coming up about trafficking. So I'm excited about that people are becoming more aware.
Yeah.
I'm happy that there's other ways to start fundraising, and I'm learning about a lot of ways to do things. And since we can't hold big events right now, which is good because that takes a lot of stress off me. But I want this platform to provide services like you and I do, provide services that equip women and children with tools on how to feel good, look good, and have true healing. And these are free services, of course, for them. So I'm really excited to watch this get off the ground. And I'm a little impatient, so my mentors and intuitives are always just teaching me to step back and let it happen, and let go, let God, that whole thing, and the best. But I just get so excited because with people like you, look at the communities we have. I'm sure with your Mary Kay business, you've just built this network of it's usually mostly women, and how amazing for you, and it's just best, because community is everything. And so I want to provide that community for women and children, survivors.
That's awesome. It's really great. I mean, I'm glad that you're doing it. It seems to me like it's taken off pretty fast. So I don't know. I know you're impatient, but it looks like it's going really well. And it's an awesome thing that you're doing. And they, I mean, it's they're survivors, so they need to learn how to survive that situation, and that's really, I love it. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you for your service. So I think that's it for our program. Thank you. Anybody who joined or watched, please feel free to comment or put a question in the chat for Erica if you have one. And Erica has some great services. I have been I guess a client, right? What am I? A patient? A
friend.
A long time. If I got an ailment, I go to this woman right here. Like, the one thing that I love about your myofascial release is I've had chronic pain in my body. Like, I've had chronic pain from from having been in a car accident, and I had a chronic pain in my shoulder for years, and I didn't really do anything about it. And one day I'm like, why am I not going to Erica? And I swear you healed it in 5 sessions. It was gone. Like, that pain was gone. And being a mom, I've had oh my God, from the pregnancy, from carrying this kid around, from all the rocking, the breastfeeding. I literally had chronic pain from breastfeeding, from sideline breastfeeding. It just like, it tore up my shoulder. You remember, and that one took a while to get out. I mean, that was worse than the car accident. Who knew, you know? Yeah. But you worked it out, like I mean, it was hard. Okay, I'm not gonna. It's not like this is like a pretty massage she does, guys. Okay, this is fascial release.
I worked on a 2-day-old baby the other day, and it was very gentle, and the baby unwound. And she wasn't looking to the right, but immediately she looked to the right. So it can be gentle and it can be intense. What the key with myofascial is I meet your body at its resistance. So that was the resistance you were giving me, which is okay. We're both starting. So
I'm like, is she doing anything? And then later I'm like, oh, it's unwound, you know? But most of the time I'm like, why did I come in here? Why did I let her do this to me? No, it's always good. And then you always give me something to do at home to like continue the practice and like to really learn how to unwind things myself and to find those places in your body that are like so stuck, you know, that you just have to keep kind of at it with your beautiful purple ball that you love. I should have had one here, like I could show.
I know, too.
I know my daughter keeps taking mine. Like she's like, my ball. I'm like, no, it's my ball. So anyways, yeah. So anyways, so if you guys want to see Erica, I've got her information in the link here. And I don't know if you want to say anything else.
No, I just really am so glad you're doing these, and thanks again for all my goodies. And it's just you're a rock star. I love it. I'm so glad that after all this time and life changes that we're still friends and we still get to do these fun things.
Yeah, me too. I received that. Thank you. I'm very happy and glad and blessed to have you in my life, Erica. That is for sure. It has been so many days. I'm just so grateful for you. So thank you. And thank you everybody for joining us here. We are going to sign out. Yeah, thank you. Take care of yourselves, guys.
Yes.